The first Diddy party I went to was at Prince's house. So you want to go to Prince's house to the Diddy party where Tyrese is performing and Demi Moore and Ashton Kutcher are swinging on swings. That is what's happening on the other side of the wall. And so the one thing that makes this party different than a Jamie Foxx party or any other celebrity party that wrangles a bunch of young women or guys or whatever too, is that Diddy didn't let you bring your security in the party.
Things were already getting wild with the names being tossed around. But the moment Prince got mentioned, it felt like a plot twist nobody expected. Sure, it was common knowledge that Diddy hosted some outlandish parties at Prince's place, Jason. Lee had already spilled that loudly, but hearing Prince's name come up like this, that shook everyone. But here is where the story takes a sharp turn. Think about it. Prince was always known for his quiet brilliance, for staying ahead of everyone, playing chess while others played checkers. What if he knew exactly what was unfolding at his home and deliberately kept cameras rolling? Not for show, but for safekeeping. He might have never even attended the parties himself, just monitored from a distance, documenting everything behind closed doors. And some folks now truly believe he held onto those tapes, or possibly entrusted them to someone before his death. Now the rumors are gaining traction, whispers growing into roars, that these tapes might soon come to light. And if they do, Prince's legacy could find itself unexpectedly pulled into a courtroom drama he never signed up for.
You have health problems?
That I don't know, right? What I know is that he was really health conscious. He was a vegan. He didn't abuse alcohol. I didn't know of him abusing drugs. He worked out, so that also really concerned me because it made me think that, wow, so you mean you do all these things to take care of yourself and you die so young?
This trial is already spiraling into something straight out of a movie, and we have not even hit the opening arguments yet. During jury selection, some of the names being thrown around left everyone stunned. Michelle Williams, Robert Downey Jr., Mike Myers, even Lauren London. Nobody could wrap their heads around how these celebrities were somehow linked to the situation. It was the kind of revelation that made people do double takes. Of course, some names were more expected. Cassie, for instance, no surprise there. She was the first to publicly take legal action against Diddy, and her accusations hit hard. According to her, Diddy's own circle, his staff, even people from Bad Boy Entertainment, witnessed everything firsthand. They saw it all unfold. But, despite what they knew, not a single one of them dared to come forward. Not then.
December 31st, 1999. My publishing contract with Warner Chappell expired, thus emancipating the name I was given before birth, Prince, from all long-term restrictive documents.
I had searched deep within my heart and spirit, and I wanted to make a change and move to a new plateau in my life. And one of the ways in which I did that was to change my name. It sort of divorced me from the past and all the hang-ups that go along with it, as it's been well chronicled in deep dispute with my record label.
And which is Warner Brothers, right?
Yeah. We had some issues that were basically about ownership of the music and how often I was supposed to record and things like that. I really searched deep within to find out the answer to whether fame was most important to me or my spiritual well-being, and I chose the latter.
What makes this even more disturbing is that, according to Cassie, Diddy's assistants were not just silent observers. They were fully involved. She claimed they played an active role, going beyond just turning a blind eye. After violent episodes, they would show up with lavish gifts, almost like peace offerings meant to buy her silence. But it did not stop there. Cassie said these same staff members helped organize what she described as freak-offs, reserving hotel suites, setting the Izire scene with baby oil and Astroglide. They were not just bystanders. They were deeply embedded in the machine. Now, with everything finally coming to light, her lawsuit pulled no punches. She even recounted a moment so horrific that Diddy's head of security and an assistant, allegedly, broke down in tears when they saw her afterward. That image alone paints a grim picture. So it is no wonder subpoenas are likely coming for those staff members. Their time in the shadows might be over, because this case is dragging every hidden piece into the open.
The first Diddy party I went to was at Prince's house. So you want to go to Prince's house to the Diddy party where Tyrese is performing and Demi Moore and Ashton Kutcher are swinging on swings. That is what's happening on the other side of the wall. And so the one thing that makes this party different than a Jamie Foxx party or any other celebrity party that wrangles a bunch of young women or guys or whatever too, is that Diddy didn't let you bring.
Now this is where the whole situation starts spiraling deeper into chaos. Enter Harve Pierre. Yes, the same Harve who has been part of the bad boy legacy for decades. He is already under fire, caught up in a separate lawsuit brought forward by a Jane Doe. Her claims are heavy. She said Harve persuaded her to travel from Detroit to New Jersey, and once she arrived, she was allegedly assaulted by both Harve and Diddy. It sounds less like a coincidence and more like a calculated power move, but the storm does not stop with Harve. Young Miami's name has surfaced as well. She was reportedly on Diddy's payroll, but the whispers go beyond music. There are now rumors suggesting she may have been helping move substances behind the scenes. When her name came up during jury selection, it definitely made the room tense. People took notice. And then there is Dallas Austin. While he is known for his work as a music producer, he also had a deep personal connection to Kim Porter, Diddy's late partner. They were childhood friends. Ever since Kim's sudden and tragic passing, quiet suspicions have followed Diddy, like a shadow. So seeing Dallas's name tied to the trial only added more fuel to the speculation. The deeper this case goes, the more tangled it becomes.
Save your life and getting you into rehab.
Yes, he did. I had a long time kind of battling those things, and after my father passed, it got really bad. And so I called up Big Bruh to help. He said, okay, when and where.
Things take an even darker turn when Laurieann Gibson enters the narrative. Known as the energetic choreographer from Making the Band, she once reported that in 2007, Diddy threatened her by lifting a chair in a moment of rage on set. That was not a minor outburst. It was an act of raw, unchecked aggression. Then there is Aubrey O'Day, who has been anything but quiet. She publicly threw her support behind Cassie and accused Diddy of subjecting her to inappropriate behavior as well. Dawn. Richard, another former member of Danity Kane, also resurfaced with her own disturbing claims. In a separate lawsuit, she alleged Diddy worked her to exhaustion, pushing her through rehearsals without rest and manipulating her during that vulnerable time. But that was not all. Dawn said she personally witnessed Diddy physically assault Cassie while under the influence. That kind of first-hand claim only intensifies the weight behind Cassie's accusations. Now, a name that caught everyone off guard, Michael B. Jordan. But let us be clear, he was not accused of anything. His name appeared in the lawsuit simply because he and Cassie were reportedly flirtatious back in 2015. Still, prosecutors seem determined to examine Cassie's entire romantic history, piecing together even the smallest threads. Another unexpected mention? Kid Cudi. Cassie said they briefly dated in 2011 during a rocky patch with Diddy. When she reconciled with Diddy, he supposedly found old emails between her and Cudi, and his reaction was explosive. According to her lawsuit, Diddy vowed to make Cudi pay, and disturbingly, Cudi's car later exploded in his driveway while people were home. That actually happened. What might have sounded like an outrageous threat turned into terrifying reality. It painted a chilling picture of obsession and retaliation, one now entering the courtroom as hard evidence. And believe it or not, that is just the beginning. Even more names are expected to spill out as this legal saga unfolds. But let us rewind to the most unexpected twist, Prince, yes, the icon himself. Somehow, he has been pulled into this tangled web, with whispers that he might have possessed a compromising video involving Diddy. The mere mention has people questioning whether Prince's untimely death was really as straightforward as it was reported. Some believe he knew the end was near. Days before his passing, he posted a cryptic message, now deleted, that read, "Just when you thought you were safe." And during his final appearance at Paisley Park, he reportedly told the crowd, "Wait a few days before you waste any prayers." Chilling words. Prince was found unresponsive at his estate in Minnesota, and officials ruled it an accidental fentanyl overdose. They said he unknowingly took fake Vicodin laced with the deadly opioid, but many fans were never convinced. Prince, known for his clean lifestyle, was not someone you'd expect to fall victim to that world. Some began to wonder, was he sick? Or was there something more sinister at play? At the time of his death, Prince was in a battle against the music industry. He was not just creating songs, he was fighting powerful systems for ownership and control. For years, he clashed with record labels, especially over artist rights and revenue. Some believe that battle came at a steep cost, the label most closely tied to his legacy was Warner Brothers. He signed with them in 1977 at just 18. While his early albums between 1978 and 1981 had a slow start, Warner believed in his potential. By 1982, as MTV exploded onto the scene, Prince finally broke into the US top 10. And he did not just embrace music videos, he transformed them into storytelling tools. His image became legendary. Then came Purple Rain in 1984. That moment turned him into a global force. Brilliant, electric, unstoppable. But with the spotlight came friction. Prince soon realized that Warner owned nearly everything tied to his art, his name, his sound, his identity. So he rebelled. He changed his name to a symbol, refusing to be a commodity. That was not a gimmick. It was resistance. From then on, he was the artist formerly known as Prince, and he wore that title like armor. He made it clear, he would no longer play by their rules, no longer be silenced or controlled. Prince turned his career into a statement of independence, and many still believe that his defiance may have led to consequences we will never fully understand. Now here's where things start connecting in unsettling ways. Diddy had a deep business alliance with the very company Prince spent years fighting, Warner Music Group. Diddy signed a huge joint venture deal with Warner, handing them a 50% share in Bad Boy Records. This was not just about music distribution. Warner now owned half the label's catalog and controlled how it reached listeners, both digitally and physically. That was a massive financial move. Diddy did not downplay it either. He proudly called Bad Boy more than just another label, saying, "A lot of boutique labels come and go, but we're still standing." That partnership, he claimed, gave him the power, structure, and network to keep dominating the music game. But what makes this connection even more chilling is what people are whispering behind the scenes. Word is Prince had long been aware of the darker side of Diddy's private world, the bizarre parties, the so-called freak-offs, and he reportedly wanted no part of it. Jason Lee once revealed that his first ever Diddy party was held inside Prince's mansion. Oddly enough, guests were not allowed to bring their own security. That raises some red flags. Sure, Prince allowed his home to be used, but was he just being polite? Or was he observing the madness unfold from behind the curtains? Because if you know Prince, you know he was all about control. Always watching, always calculating. What if he had surveillance cameras running the whole time? What if he recorded those nights and saved the footage? Maybe even handed it off to someone he trusted? That idea is now fueling speculation that his name could pop up during Diddy's trial. And if it does, it might not be by coincidence. Some now believe that Prince's knowledge of Diddy's world could have put him in danger. And there's a detail many overlook. Prince's sister, Tyka Nelson, once said he warned her that he was in trouble shortly before his passing. People used to think the two were distant, but according to those close to them, they had a strong relationship behind closed doors. Tyka has said they were like two peas in a pod as kids. Their parents made it clear. Prince had to look out for his sister. Wherever he went, she followed. And when Tyka faced addiction struggles, Prince was the one who stepped in. No judgment, just action. He got her into rehab and made sure she got the help she needed. But what hits the hardest is what Tyka shared later. Prince had quietly started preparing her for his death nearly 2 years before it happened. He did not say much, but his actions spoke volumes. He was making sure she would be okay when he was gone. That's the kind of quiet love most people never see. In a 2018 interview with the Minnesota Star-Tribune, Tyka spoke about stepping back from performing and working on her memoir. But she also recalled her final conversation with Prince, just 4 days before he passed. She said he kept dodging her questions, cracking jokes, making her laugh. But beneath that humor, she felt something was wrong. When she asked him how, he did not open up. She knew he was holding something in. That would be their last talk. So what can we say for sure? Prince had something heavy weighing on him in the days leading up to his death. Whether it was linked to Diddy, or to whatever secrets he might have discovered or recorded, we still do not know. Whether his name will actually be mentioned in court remains to be seen. But one thing is certain, this story runs much deeper than anyone imagined. Stay locked in. Like, comment, share, and subscribe so you do not miss a single update as this story continues to unfold. What is coming next might just change everything.